Today, I would like to introduce you about two prominent presidents that we had in office. One who was introduced into Congress in 1846, which is Abe Lincoln. And the other one is John F. Kennedy, who was introduced into Congress 100 years later in 1946. Both of these individuals were elected into presidency. Lincoln in 1860, President Kennedy in 1960. In between a 100-year span, you'll see the similarities into these two presidents' lives. While President Lincoln and President Kennedy were in office in the White House, they both lost a child. Also, both presidents, Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy, were concerned with the civil rights movement. In fact, you could even call it their passion. It's really amazing how identical, when you look at this, how their lives were so close and not that different, especially in the events that happened in their life to be so similar. Both Lincoln and Kennedy were shot in the head on the same day. That same day was considered a Friday. It was a Friday. Wow, is that weird or what? That's something to think about. And if you think that's something to think about, check this out. Lincoln had a secretary which was named Kennedy. And President Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln. Is that wild or what? Both were assassinated by Southerners, and in reality, both were succeeded by Southerners. Believe it or not, both successors in the presidency behind Abe Lincoln and John F. Kennedy were both named Johnson. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon B. Johnson, who succeeded President Kennedy, was born in 1908. The two assassins, John Wilkes Booth, who killed Lincoln, was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, who killed Kennedy, was born in 1939. Now, how bizarre is that? Has this blown your mind yet? Well, wait for the punchline. Lincoln was shot at the theater, which was actually called the Ford Theater. And Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln made by Ford. A week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland, doing a conference. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was out with Marilyn Monroe. And to top it all off, Lincoln was shot in the theater, and the assassin ran to a warehouse nearby. Kennedy was shot from a warehouse, and the assassin ran to a theater. How bizarre is that? These facts are phenomenal when you think about it. Now, my suggestion to you is, how many other members in history have possible identical lives like this? Is it thought enough to check it out, to see what more encounters you can find with somebody else? Personally, I'm going to investigate some of these things. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed my thesis, my report, and I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you.